ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। गौरसदचरित्रामृतनिधि गौरं सर्वं स्तुवे गौरेण प्रथितं रहस्यभजनं गौरं सर्वं वदे। गौरस्य कृपालुरात्रिनपरो गौरस्य भृत्य स भवान् गौरमचरामि भगवान् गौरप्रभुरक्षमाम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Yesterday we heard some glorification of Bhagavad Gita. There was not um, much time. There were so many other things to elaborate on Bhagavad Gita, and it was already more than 3 hours program we had on Zoom. But I was like in a flow. So when you are in a flow, then so many more points in glorification of a subject comes. Later on in the evening, we have had program um, and so many other um, glorification in regard to Bhagavad Gita came forward. Ekam Shastram Devki Putra Geetam. Bhagavad Gita spoken by Shri Krishna. Dugdha Gopala Nandana. Did I mention this point? Sarvopnishad Gavo Dugdha Gopala Nandana. All Upanishads are like cows. When there is cow, there has to be someone who is cow. Cowherd boy is a milkman who milk the cow. Not like a Western style of milking the cow with machine. In India, that's the system. Milkman, he brings calf near to the cow, and calf drinks the milk. Calf has the right. So when calf drinks the milk, the mother cow, she feels so much affectionate, and she gives milk with that affection. And then after a while, calf is taken away from the udders of cow, and milkman, he milk the cow manual with hands, with fingers, and it's not easy. It's so difficult. You get so much pain in the muscles. You milk 2 buckets, 1 bucket milk like this. Those who are milkmen, they are very strong. They do this very. I tried one time for a few minutes. So much pain. So, Sarva Krishnad Gavo Dugdha Gopala Nandana. Shri Krishna is milkman. Of course, he's cowherd boy, he's Gopal, and is familiar with this, and he's milking the cow. You see, the cow which we get in India is that affection of mother cow. She's giving with affection, not force, not with any injections, as compared to the milk in Western countries. all artificial or machine forcefully. Mother cow has no um, her sweet will in that. So calf is Arjun who drank that milk, and Sudhir Bhokta. Then all that milk is meant for those who really want to drink the essence of Upanishad. That's Bhagavad Gita, where uh, Krishna is facilitating everyone and the means to attain him, being so humble and simultaneously showing off the supremacy over others. You know, Vibhuti Yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, the chapter Vibhuti Yoga. Oh, oh, I'm everywhere. Everything is in me. Which chapter is that? Vibhuti Yoga. I think it's seventh chapter. Yeah. Yes, 10th chapter. Vibhuti Yoga. His Vibhuti, his opulence, everything. I'm this, I'm what vriksh amongst all the trees, I'm this, I'm that, everything. I'm present everywhere. And one can easily attain me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prachyati. Just by offering a tulsi leaf, a flower, fruit, water with love, one can easily attain me. That's also a promise of Krishna. Ananya Chintamam Je Jana Paripasate Tesham Nitya Bhuktanam Yog Shem Vahamyaham. One pointed devotion unto me. Je Jana Paripasate. One who is performing upasana, worship of me, Krishna said. Tesham Nitya Bhuktanam Yog Shem Vahamyaham. I carry the burden on my head. No scarcity. I take care of everything. That's again a promise of Krishna. So, confidential knowledge given to Arjun because Priyasmini, you are dear to me. And again, confidential knowledge is given to Uddhav, his also dear friend, Krishna's Daita Sakha. But that confidential knowledge given to Arjun and knowledge given to Uddhav is not same. It's different. We may have many friends and we do share our feelings or our friendship with them, but there are some intimate ones, very close ones to whom we share actually our heart, and they are not many in numbers, only one or two. So Arjun is one. Arjun is very close friend of Krishna, and likewise Uddhav ji. But Krishna never revealed to Arjun about his Braj Gopis, his beloved ones. Krishna revealed this to Uddhav. When Krishna is saying, Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru, he is saying to Arjun. And similar verse, Ta man manaska man prana matarte takta dehika mam evam daita prishtam atma manasa gataha. Krishna spoke to Uddhav, Gopis, for me, they are ready to sacrifice everything. We heard this yesterday. All shyness. Gopis openly reveal their heart, their love to Krishna. They even gave up their shyness even the society principles, because dearly loving Krishna. No hesitation, just said, just reveal their, express their love to Krishna without any other consideration. That's why Krishna is glorifying gopis in front of Uddhav, not Arjun. That's the difference. चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम जनः सुकृतनो अर्जुन. आर्थ जिज्ञासु अर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरसवा. Yesterday I was trying to make a connection between Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Chaturvida bhajanti mam. 4 categories of person comes to me. What are 4 categories? Arth, those who are in distress. Jigyasu, those who are inquisitive. Then Artharthi, materially motivated, and Jnani, learning. But with a condition, Janaha Sukritino Arjuna. With Sukriti, they should have Sukritis. Otherwise, those who don't have Sukriti, Sukriti here means, what's the English term for Sukriti means? Bhakti inclined pious activities. Not just ordinary pious activities. Those pious activities which are Bhakti inclined. Anything, any pious deeds, Krishna being the center of that. That's called Sukriti. So Bhakti inclined. Arth, those who are in distress, they come to me. Otherwise, they don't approach me. They approach demigods for that. They approach many tantrics for that. They approach many worshippers of many planets for that. Because they don't have that Sukriti. Which number was it at? So, the example of Arth said is Gajendra from Srimad Bhagavatam in a distress situation. So Gajendra approached Bhagwan for protection. Jigyasu, Shaunak Rishis, they approached Suta Goswami to hear Bhagavatam from him. Arth Jigyasu Artharthi, Dhruv Maharaj got blessed by Naraji, received mantra from Naraji. And then Jnani is Chatur Kumar, Sanak Sanandan, 4 Kumaras. That's the elaborating on the point of the verse. Krishna said, Arth, Jigyasu, Artharthi, Jnanicha, Bharasava. 4 categories of person approach me. Otherwise, Yanti Devrata, Devan Prithna Yanti, Pitrvataha. Bhutani Yanti Bhutejya, Yanti Mada Jano Api Mam. Krishna said, those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods. There is no confusion, there is no fight. Oh, I don't want to live up worshipping demigods. As we see in many houses. Indian origin people around the world. You go to South Africa, go to Durban, all Indian origin houses. They worship Krishna, but also Devi is there. Also Hanuman is there. Also Ganesh is there. I saw in Durban as well as in Johannesburg. I went to temple, one or two temples. Indian origin people. They invited me for Bhagavad Sapta there in the temple. Braj Kishore knows that. I don't know which place was that. But there was never any opportunity to go again. So worshipping, and even if in Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad, all these countries, Indians everywhere, and even in India, Durga Puja, oh, worshipping Durga. Radha Krishna is there. Maharaj, we worship Radha Krishna, yes, that's our worshipable. But what's the harm in worshipping the demigods also? Here comes the point. Krishna is saying, in that regard, Western world is better because they are not even familiar. They're not even familiar who is demigod and who is God. Oh, Gurudev told Radha Krishna, oh yes, we only know him. We don't know anybody else. Right? Krishna says, those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. So that's the answer for them. This verse. This is Raj Guhya Yoga, chapter 9, verse 25. 9.25. Very important verse. Yanti Devavrata Devan. Those who worship the demigods goes to the planets of demigods. Those who worship the forefathers go to the planets of the forefathers. Pitra Puja. Worshipping Pitras. I'm only following my lineage. Whatever my grandfather, great grandfather said, that's all. Worshipping them. So if you worship forefathers, then you go to the planets of forefathers. Pitra Loka. If you worship demigods, go to Swarga Loka. Those who worship the spirits, careful, go to the planets of the spirits. There are many people who worship Bhuta Pretas, ghost. Yes. I don't want to name the countries, otherwise devotees will be upset with me. There's so much worship of spirits in those countries, right? Yes? Yeah, they already said yes. So much tantric puja, mode of ignorance there. To hypnotize anyone. Oh. So when they worship all those ghosts, where they go? To the planet of ghosts. Bhutaloka. But Krishna is again promising this, saying, and those who worship me, yanti mad yajinopi mam. Those who worship me will surely come to me. No doubt at all. Choice is yours. Krishna is saying, I'm not forcing anyone for anything. Because love is not to force. It just volunteer comes from the heart. Sometimes the love is there in the heart, but can't reveal that. Krishna here revealing everything. Okay. I want all of you to love me. And I am here to give you my prema bhakti. So I'm not going to the commentaries because if we go so much details, Bhagavad Gita itself will take 1 year to finish. It's so interesting. We started Bhagavad Gita, but it is so usually generally devotees, they don't give so much preference to Bhagavad Gita. But if we go through the verses of Bhagavad Gita with the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Gurudev mentioned here, there's so much to know, and build up a good foundation, a strong foundation for understanding what Krishna is saying and what he expecting from us. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prachati tad aham bhakta paharitam ashnasi prayatmanah. If any pure-hearted devotee offers me a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water with love and devotion, I will surely accept that gift. This is verse from Bhagavad Gita. But similar verse like this in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now see there's connection with Bhagavatam. Parijanu raga virachita shabla sam shabda salila sit kishalya tulasika durvankure api sambhritya sapraya kila param pratyushayasi. Meaning, you certainly become specially pleased by the worship offered by your devotees, who are full of attraction for you, who offer prayers with choked voices, and who perform puja to you with water, tulasi, leaves, and sprouted durva grass. See, even this verse have connection with Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.3.6. This shloka is aligned with Srimad Bhagavatam. And then तुलसी दल मात्रेना जलस्यव चुल्केन्वा विक्रीते स्वात्मना भक्तेव भक्त वत्सलः. This is the verse which Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he took tulsi in his hand and he offered with Ganga water to Shalagram and called upon the Lord to please come and descend and deliver everyone in this world. Okay. Then Yad Karoshi, Yad Ashnashi, Yad Johosi Dadasi Yat Tat Tapasya Kaunteya Tat Kurusat Mad Arpanam Tat Kurushva Mad Arpanam. O son of Kunti, whatever activities you perform, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice and give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, offer them all to me. In this way, you feel connected to me. Again, very important. Whatever activities you perform. So what activities devotee is performing? Trying to cultivate that love with Krishna. So then, to whomever you want to cultivate love, you have to offer your activities to that person. Then the love will develop, right? Because if you do activities for that person, you will remember that person all the time. And what will happen? No need to even say or hear. The love will automatically develop in the heart. So, whatever activities you perform, Krishna is saying, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, even sacrifice. I always say, love means sacrifice. Even whatever you sacrifice and give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, offer them all to me. Who is doing this? Brajavasis. Whatever activities they are doing, whatever they eat, whatever sacrifice they are doing, all the yajnas they are performing, whatever they give in charity, Nand Maharaj gives charity to Brahmins. Any problem comes to Krishna, any demon getting killed by Krishna, sent by Kamsa, Brahmins getting good charity. Nand Maharaj giving so much charity to Brahmins. Yeah. Similar words to this, Srimad Bhagavatam by Navyogendra. कायेन वाचेन मनसेन्द्रियवा बुद्धे आत्मना वानुस्मृत स्वभावता करोतु यत्तत् सकलं प्रस्मै नारायण इति समर्पेत तत्. There was a time when I knew so many verses from Navyogendra Samvad. There are 9 Yogendras, 11 cantos. Kavir, Havir, Antariksh, Prabuddha, Pipalayan, all this. And every Yogendra means pure devotee. There are 9. They are saying something. So, one is explaining about the symptoms of pure devotees. So, there are almost 11 verses. The symptoms of pure devotees. Kavir, Hari, Havi, Antariksha, Prabuddha. He spoke that. One is speaking about only Maya Tattva. Other is speaking about Bhagwan Tattva, Bhakta Tattva. So 9 Yogendras. Oh, I used to learn this years back. So, in accordance with the particular nature one has acquired in conditioned life, whatever one does with body, words, mind, senses, intelligence, or purified consciousness, one should offer to the Supreme, thinking this is a pleasure for the Supreme Lord Narayan. Similar words to this. From Bhagavad Gita to Bhagavatam. That's the similarity. Okay. This is the problem. Wherever you start, you don't want to leave. Then, wait. What is that? What number? Raso, Varjam, Rasam. Yes. 1, 3, 4. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निहारस्य देहिनः. Very important verse. When you're preaching, if someone asks you, what is the problem? I'm in this material world, having nice time here. Why you want to make me devotee? What is there in devotional life better than in this material life? You guys also enjoy, we also enjoy. What's the difference? This verse. Vishya vinivartante niharasya dehinah. Rasa varjam raso paspeham param vishwa nivartati. What is the meaning? He who identifies himself with this body may restrict his enjoyment by withdrawing the senses from their object, but his taste for sense pleasure remains. One whose intelligence is fixed, however, has realized Paramatma. Therefore, his taste for sense object automatically ceases. When you develop a high taste, the lower taste will automatically go away. A boy eating khichdi for 1 year. Understand khichdi? Rice, dal, no spice, little salt, that's it. For 1 year, eating khichdi. Then on 1st January, the mother cooks halwa, puri, pakora, and chickpea, aloo, sabji. 1st January, big feast. Any invited relatives, friends, etc. So 1 year he was eating khichdi, and he was having nice time eating khichdi. But first January he tastes this. Oh, puri, pakoda. Hmm. Hmm. Many are even getting saliva, gulping the saliva. Hmm. So puri, halwa, chickpea, aloo sabji, pakoda, chutney, malpua also. Yes, malpua also. Then first January is getting this. Second January again, mother, Mataji cooking khichdi. You say, oh, do we have leftover from yesterday? Because I don't want to eat khichdi anymore. Why? The taste has developed. The lower taste ceases by developing the higher taste. He who identifies himself with his body may restrict his enjoyment by withdrawing the senses from their object, but his taste for sense pleasure remains. One whose intelligence is fixed, however, has realized Paramatma, therefore his taste for sense object automatically ceases. The lower taste simultaneously get fade in comparison with the higher taste. Krishna is saying this. So Krishna is also giving a process of sadhana, abhideha, and prayojan. Everything in Bhagavad Gita. So much encouragement, so much motivation. Discussing the process of sadhana and abhideha also, and then prayojan also. Okay, if one raise a doubt that even foolish or less intelligent persons may become detached from the objects of their senses by fasting or through sickness. Mhm. If someone is sick, you can't have rich food, luxurious food. Or if someone is fasting, means doing some kind of fast or intermediate fasting, not eating 17 hours, 18 hours. So either case, if one raises a doubt that even a foolish or less intelligent person may become detached from the object of the senses by fasting or by sickness. They're detached from the senses, enjoying. Bhagwan answer in this verse, beginning with the Vishaya. The word Rasa Varjam implies that such person do not become free from the desire for sense objects. For certain time, okay, doctor told you you're getting overweight, fast, intermittent fasting, 16-hour not eating. Doctor, how many months? Okay, try 2 months. Yeah, from 2 months, eating 5 p.m. and the next day 11 a.m. Not eating at all, fasting. Or got COVID, no taste, no smell, can't enjoy the food, and everything is enjoyed by food. Right? Just by thinking of any food, oh, automatically thinking of enjoying that. Think of malpua in the meditation, right? Round, something brown, oh, with so much sweet and some statue on the top and some cap, you know, nuts on the top. Okay, malpua. Yeah. Just by thinking of malpua. But COVID can't eat malpua. No taste. Don't feel like eating that. Or doctor told no sweets for 2 months. That means the tendency, that means there's a urge to eat that, but because of circumstance, not eating. The urge is there to enjoy, but circumstantial, not enjoying. Some provision is there. Moment COVID is out, result came negative. Hey, bring malpuas. Moment one feel healthy. Oh, now I've lost so much weight. Bring malpuas. Eating like 500 grams in 2 minutes. You see? But Bhagwan answered in this verse, beginning with Vishaya, means the word rasovarjam implies that such person do not become free from the desire for sense object. The desire is there, and Bhagwan is trying to pull out the desire. You know, like halwa is there. Oh, ghee halwa. And next to halwa, just keep some what? Let's say some khichdi. Choice is given. Everyone will like to keep. Okay, forget about halwa. Very nice birthday cake. Hmm, very nice birthday cake. Nice topping. Cherries are there. Wow. A five-layer cake. One layer chocolate, other layer vanilla, other layer strawberry. 5 layers means if you take one bite, you get flavor of all four altogether. Oh, so the kids getting very excited hearing this. 5 layer cake, and then just keep 1 spoon sugar, just sugar. What will you choose? Of course, cake. Don't feel shy. Hmm. Rasovarjam. For sickness and for some kind of, okay, Ekadashi is there. We know we have to fast, we can't eat cake. But the urge is there to eat that. Okay, I will eat tomorrow then. Understand my point? Bhagwan, by uttering this verse, is implying what he's want to say is the urge to enjoy the sense object, to pull it out totally from the heart. When it will happen? When there is a shresh, a superior rasa to taste. Rather, their taste for sense objects persists. It remains there. Yet one who is of fixed intelligence ceases to desire sense objects because he has direct realization of Paramatma. There is no flaw in this definition. Those who are able to realize the self are perfect souls or siddhas. They are not practitioners or sadhakas. This is the point Krishna wants to bring us to. In a, something related to this in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami is saying, Kechit kevalya bhaktaya vasudev prayanam agam dhruvanti se nihar eva bhaskara. In the beginning chapter of Ajamil. As I mentioned few days back. Going to place of pilgrimage to get rid of sins. And yes, taking bath in Ganga and Jamuna, holy rivers, one take bath in the, take dip in that water, holy water, and get rid of sin. But the tendency to perform sin is still remain in the heart. Then by performing austerities and other means, clearing of those sins, but the seed of sin is still in the heart. then the only remedy left is, and is what Shukdev Goswami is saying, Kechit Kevalya Bhaktaya. Only by performing Kevala Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, even the seed of the sin does not remain in the heart. This is what Krishna is saying. This is very important word. Rasa varjam raso api yasasya param drishtva nivartate. Para drishta nivartate. Hmm? Hmm. Many for big commentary. Srila Bhakti Thakur says for that. And then there is one more verse. All these verses I was speaking yesterday. We just touch those points. Which one was? Dhaya. D. Mm, yes. Oh, yes. This is the next word. Dhayato Vishyan Pumsaha Sangaseshu Sangajayate. Sangaseshu Pajayate. Sangas Sanjayate Kamaha. Kamat Krodh Abhijayate. Krodh Bhavati Sammoha. Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha. Smriti Bhramshada Buddhi Nasho. Buddhi Nasha Pranashyati. The whole sequence is given. Very important word. Okay. Dhayatu Vishyan Pumsaha Sangaseshu Sang sorry. Dhayatu Vishyan Pumsaha Sangaseshu Upajayate Sangas Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodh Abhijayate. By continuously meditating on the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment to them. That's what happened to the conditioned soul. Continuously meditating on the objects of senses, whatever I want to enjoy, continuously thinking about that. I want this cake, I want this cake, I want this cake, I want this cake, meditating on that. How to get this, where to get this, how to make this, how to eat this. By continuously meditating on the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment to them. In the subconscious mind, that object remains in the subconscious mind. And because of that, attachment develops. And that's with everyone. You think of anyone, attachment develops. Just by thinking of anyone, all the time, meditating on that person, attachment develops. Similarly, thinking of Gurudev, attachment develops to Gurudev. Oh, Gurudev used to smile like this. Gurudev used to chastise like this. Sometimes Gurudev used to make funny faces like that. Or he spoke like this on that day. Or even when I'm drinking water, Gurudev said something about water. Or when I'm eating, Gurudev said, no, don't use left hand. While paying obeisances. Oh, Gurudev taught me how to do this, how to pay obeisances correctly. On this occasion, Gurudev said this. So what's happening? Every time we are meditating on with our senses, and that gets stored in the subconscious mind. That object of meditation gets stored in the subconscious mind. And because of that, attachment develops. Gurudev told me, I was singing this song, he stopped me. No, sing like this. He asked me to recite this verse. So every time, whatever is going on in the daily practices, Gurudev told while taking shower, remembering Ganga, Ganga, Radha Kund, holy rivers. So no time to escape. Every time meditating on Gurudev, eating, bathing. Uh, Gurudev told, be sober in your dressing. Don't show off to people. Don't let people get attracted by you. Krishna is only enjoyer. Remember, not too bad clothes, not too good clothes. Medium, in between. Hmm. Simplicity is more important. Not too bad. There was, at the time of Srila Gurudev, because we were very busy in publication, there was not even money to buy anything. Both situations were like that. So we were just wearing, sometimes torn shirts, the pocket is torn, and sometimes, dhoti is not correct, means torn, holes. One day Gurudev saw, and Srila Gurudev said, that's not proper. Why are you wearing this torn cloth? And we didn't want to tell our problems to Gurudev, and we are not supposed to. We should not. Always give good news to them. Gurudev, I learned those verses. I learned the song. We did this seva. Something to make him happy. Same thing with Krishna. Don't just come with a dull case, Krishna. You know, his source of pleasure. Be happy. And that's why in Bhakti Swami Sindhu, Rupa Goswami told, in those limbs of bhakti, 64 limbs of bhakti, some do's and some don'ts. Never go with sad mood or sad face in front of the deities. If you consider them, actually they are Radha Krishna, not just statues. And they're acknowledging you. They're acknowledging your feelings. Don't go with that complaining mood. What you're doing to me? Or you're not looking after well to me. Go with some good news. Krishna, I learned this for you. I did this for you. Tell him that. Anyway, we didn't want to tell Gurudev that we have no money and we don't want to ask you. We want to give you money, not want to take money from you. So weird asking Gurudev for simple this thing. And we had no other option. The next day again, visiting him with the same thing. There's some memories of Gurudev. So every other day, then Gurudev started teasing us. Oh, Vairagis have come, renunciates have come. He's going in Gurudev room, paying obeisance to him, and he's looking, oh, renunciates, big renunciates have come. Sarcastic. Oh, big renunciates, Vairagis have come. And we feel so embarrassed and shy. But what to do? We can't tell, our things to him. We have no money to buy. We can't tell this, and we're just, our head down and hearing and just smiling. Then he told, never wear very opulent so that people get attracted to you. And even don't show off. Even you don't have anything. Even don't show off renunciation to anyone so that people get attracted. Bhakti is like a love. Bhakti is actually love, prem, which is not meant to show off to others. It's meant to keep preserved for the person for whom this bhakti and this prem is kept for. the object of our service, Gurudev and Krishna. That's why Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, "Bhalo na khaibe ar bhalo na poribe." Bhalo na khaibe means don't eat opulent and don't wear opulent. And antarnishta bahya karo lok vyavhar. Develop great love and firm nishtha for Krishna. And don't show off yourself to your people around you. Love is not there. Prem is not there to show off. It's there to keep hidden. Antarinishta bahya karo lok vyavhar. Externally just behave, or what do you call ordinary relationship with your friends, etc. Ordinary like. Don't just tell them, oh, yesterday I was chanting 6 rounds and then, oh, my heart was melting, tears came from my eyes. Why are you showing off? You're not supposed to. Hide those tears, even if it is coming. Tell lies. You're not supposed to. One devotee was chanting, hearing Hari Katha, heart melted, tears came in the eyes. Then other devotees looking at him, they said, Prabhu, oh, you actually getting transcendental emotion. Arey, no. I was yawning. When I was yawning, tears came from my eyes. It's just because I'm very tired. Or something fell in my eyes. Something fell in my eyes. That's why. Nothing to show off. Bhakti Thakur is telling, Sada Kande Sango Pane. When I will chant the names of Hari and cry in seclusion, not showing off to others. So Gurudev told, don't get attraction from others. Just be simple. Then you get no attraction. Because Krishna is your enjoyer. Don't allow anyone else to enjoy you or glorify you. Let Krishna do this. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranad. But many details are there. Like in this book, Volcanic Energy, if you're hearing, I don't know, maybe you're not hearing anymore. The audio book. Because now Gita came. You heard Gita? No one is hearing. I spent 3 months to record that. 10 hours a day. That's when my voice gets little disturbed because hours and hours recording. So hear this. I'm doing for all of you. What is the fun in recording? I'm just doing because all devotees can hear while they're going to work, in the car, or at home while cooking, etc. Doing anything, just put on and hear and do your things. Something will go in the ears. I'm doing for all of you. So, in volcanic energy, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj, he gave an account of one pastime. That once upon a time, he with his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, were taking bath in Ganga or some holy river, he said. And one Mataji, when they came out and changing their clothes, one Mataji came and wants to give some little towel. And Srila Bhakti Gyan Bhati Goswami Maharaj said, Guru Maharaj always told never to accept anything from non-devotees. So he said, no, I don't want. But then his Guru Maharaj pointed out to him, accept, accept this. And when Guru Maharaj told him, then he has no other option. He has to obey. And he said, okay, Mataji, give me. He accepted, but there was doubt in his mind. That always Gurudev is telling us, anyone who's giving you, people will give you so many things. It's not that you have to accept everything. Further from non-devotees, no, don't accept. And today I rejected that Mataji giving gift. She was like an ordinary person, not devotee. She was just giving to sadhus, so many sadhus over there on the pilgrimage. But then there was a doubt in his mind, and he asked his Guru Maharaj that he always inspiring us and teaching us. But today, at the spot, you indicated to me to accept this gift because we don't even know who she is and what mood she has by giving, was keeping in her heart to give this. Then he said, his Guru Maharaj, Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj said, listen, she was, she saw you as sadhu and she wanted to give this gift to you in a mood of serving you. And it's our duty to accept those things because we don't want to disturb their service mood. She has this, she developed this mood to serve sadhus. And by accepting from them, we are actually serving them. Even though you use this or you don't use this, you want to give to someone else, you can give, but accept right away from them because that acceptance is also serving them. And this acceptance means you are encouraging that Mataji or that Prabhu, you encouraging them to go ahead with Vaishnav Seva. Don't disturb their mood. She developed that mood of serving, so accept that mood. Otherwise, she will give up that mood of service. So you see, acharyas, they go so deep to help even ordinary people, not to disturb the mood of service. That's what I'm saying. There's so many details. We can't just conclude in just one pastime or just one line. That's all idea about subtle vision and maturity because there are many details in that. Not from one perspective. We have to see from many perspectives. What to accept, how to accept, from where to accept. Many perspectives are there. So one who considered and understand those perspectives from very subtle point of view, that person called intelligent person. That person called intelligent person. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru Maharaj Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj never used to ask anything from anyone. If anyone wants to give something to him, he said, hey, go away. Totally rejection. One Mataji came to give blanket to Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj. And immediately, sir, go away. We will say, oh, that's very rude. But when he was being asked, why you rejected like this? Now, Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, in which bhumika, in which adhikar, his qualification, I would say, not qualification, but in that dimension where his absorption is, he said, if I take this blanket, I will meditate on this blanket and on her, rather than meditating on Harinam and Mahaprabhu. So let me shiver in cold, but I don't want to, because I will always think, oh, he gave me this blanket, she gave me this blanket, then I will keep on thinking that there's a height of vairagya, renunciation. विप्रलंब रसाम्बोधे पदाम्बुजाय ते नमः. नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात vairagya murti, the embodiment, the murti of renunciation. We don't even want to accept a blanket. Whereas Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he accepted everything from everyone. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he accepted everything from everyone. Why? We can say that look like two different opposite. No, it's same thing. You need subtle vision to see this. With gross vision, we'll see this difference. And that's why people get confused. Oh, one sadhu who is not accepting anything, oh, he's real sadhu. And one other sadhu who is accepting, oh, he's not sadhu. See, Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to whom we will say right or who will say wrong? Is anyone wrong? Are they both right? But see the nature? Because of their services, because of their bhumika, that dimension where they both are. That's called transcendental, and that's called maturity. When we grow high in bhakti and in understanding, we will see, oh, they both are same. But in gross level, no, that's not same. That's not same. So Srila Bharati Goswami Maharaj is giving account in that book. My Guru Maharaj told, accept, because we don't have to disturb her mood of giving and serving sadhus. So that's why I said many details are there. Dhayatu Vishyam Pumsa. We started with this. So time is over. We'll hear tomorrow. Now, since yesterday Bhagavad Gita is moving. Now the course Katha Bhagavad Gita. So we still have to finish Bhajan Rasya first chapter. So let us hear some little Bhagavad Gita some days, and then we'll resume our Bhajan Rasya classes. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. And do hear Bhagavad Gita.